This is going to be one of the bigger conversations. I'm going to have two of the bigger conversations with free agency trading and franchise tagging back to back. First, we'll start off with the good, because I think that starting off on a positive note is the right thing to do, even though that's the opposite of what they teach you in sales. The Giants. We're going to talk about Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley got tagged because 5 minutes before the tag deadline ended, Daniel Jones got his 4-year deal that he wanted, and so they were able to franchise tag Saquon Barkley. So Barkley is tagged. Daniel Jones is signed to a 4-year, $160 million deal. Now, before I tell you guys the details of this contract, I want you to ignorantly give me your opinion of it. Just reading the headline.
Ignorantly.
Just because I'm not going to...
Ignorantly.
Yes. Because here's what's going to happen. I'm going to tell you the details after you give me your opinion, and then you might change your mind. So I want you to just read at face value, because I want to hear what you guys have to say about it in the same way that I've seen what everyone else says about it, which is 4 years for a 4-year, $160 million deal. So I want to hear before the details of the contract, just at face value, what you guys think of that deal.
All right.
I know a little bit more about the deal, so I will give you my the reaction you want to hear, and I think that is ridiculous. There's no way that, he should.
Wait. You said you know the details and you don't think it was a good contract?
I think it's a good contract.
No. I said I'm saying that's what I think you wanted me to say, right?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I wanted to...
That it was ridiculous.
No, I'm asking, do you think it's a good contract or not? Like you said you've read the details. I'll give him in a minute, but do you like the contract that he got? Do you think it's a good...
From whose point of view?
From the Giants. Like, do you think the Giants...
Yeah, I think the Giants.
Okay, what about you, Gian? Do you like the contract? And you were just a spectator.
I love the contract. I don't know the details, but I love it. Let me tell you why. You're investing, although it's a little heftier of an investment, $40 million for $40 million a year with Danny Dimes. Danny Dimes is still young. We've shown what all the development has led up to now. He's one of the more dynamic quarterbacks and just a giant. He's a literal giant on the New York Giants. He's a tall guy, tall quarterback, strong arm, and with that contract, I believe it leaves the Giants some room to also maybe acquire a couple pieces here and there. Maybe it's a little on the pricier end of things.
They need a receiver.
They do need a receiver.
Well, actually,
goodbye Kenny Golladay. But
it's funny because it's kind of the exact opposite of being on the price here. And when you start reading the details, and this is why I just wanted to bring up the contract without the details to showcase the point that we do not rush to conclusions. Neither of you guys sat here and said, "Oh, it's stupid. He's making a ridiculous amount of money, and now they're never going to be able to afford anything else. It's stupid. Daniel Jones is stupid. All this stuff." Listen, we are fair, respectable men. All right, we don't rush to conclusions before understanding the terms. So here's the deal with the contract: $160 million for 4 years. $96 million is guaranteed. $35 million extra on top of the $160 is in incentives. Here's how it breaks down year by year. First year, $9.5 million guaranteed. Second year, $35.5 million guaranteed. Third year, $30 million guaranteed. So it's right around that ballpark of what we were saying with the $30 to $35 million for a short-term deal that we said. And then the fourth year is where it gets big, which is $46 million a year. But here's the thing. There's a clause in the contract where they could void it before that fourth year and only take $9 million in dead cap, which is ridiculous because most teams, whenever they sign a quarterback to a long-term deal, they have a massive dead cap hit if they decide to void the contract or release them early. And that's a big problem that with the next team we're going to talk about is having right now. But because they kind of left room in there for, if Daniel Jones doesn't do good these next 2 years, then they can void the contract and not take a massive cap hit. But Daniel Jones still gets his money that he wants. He's still got the $40 million a year average that he wanted. And before cutting Kenny Golladay, and the way they have it structured, they have $27 million going into free agency, and they've already they got Saquon and Daniel Jones locked down, and they still have $27 million for free agency, which is a lot. And then they still have the drafts coming up. So the Giants really set themselves up well here because the contract being lighter on the beginning and then building up later on, and then the way they have it structured with the cap hit is just beautiful. The front office for the Giants is a genius for this. And Daniel Jones got what he wanted. The Giants got what they wanted. I think that anyone who reads the terms of this contract agree that it's a pretty good deal all the way around. I think everyone involved is pretty happy. And the Giants are going to be nasty next year because they have $27 million to go spend on a true wide receiver, not Kenny Golladay. So
hopefully 2 true wide receivers because, I mean, they need a lot of help in that department. I would like to see Odell maybe come back. Obviously, he's, not a wide receiver 1 or 2 anymore.
Or 4
but,
for that matter.
Well, I mean, I think he can still, contribute to a team, but, I would like to see Odell come back, and then hopefully they can pick up, a receiver in the draft who,
here's
kills
what I
it.
think.
You know who
you want to?
I was gonna say, you know who I'm just like really hoping just balls out next year? Richie James. He was like not the best, but not the worst. But he ended up being like Danny Dimes' like main target near the end of the season, and he showed off some great footwork, great ball handling skills. I want to see how well he does this coming year because I believe he was a rookie last year, and I want to see how well from year 1 to the year 2 transition. Now that you're in that Brian Dable system, how well he plays from here on out. And so it's going to be interesting. Yeah, they're still going to need some receivers though. Maybe they might pick up someone.
Here's what I want. Here's what I think. Not what I think will happen. Here's what I think. In a perfect world for the Giants, go get T. Higgins, man. That guy could be a wide receiver 1 on, like we said before, 31 other teams in the NFL.
Yeah.
Go get him, pay him $18 to $20 million a year, which still leaves plenty of money in free agency. That's before making other cuts as well, and they didn't even have to pay him that much. Go get T. Higgins to be a wide receiver 1, and then draft another receiver. You could get Odell for probably pretty cheap since he's only going to play for, let's say, part of the season, limited snaps, red zone attempts, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, Odell's not going to take any money. Like, teams are going to – I mean, there's a reason he wasn't signed this last year to any team.
Yeah, so they could go get someone. They could get T. Higgins. They could go get DeAndre Hopkins. I mean, there's plenty of free agent wide receivers, and then also the draft coming up that I think the Giants set themselves up very, very well.